Hello, Bells Up Studio. I'm Lacey and welcome to today's set, which is focused on abdominals and core work and on lateral movements. There's a bit of a deadly combo at the end with split squats and some lateral lunges. That is combined though with a bodyweight jackknife, which will make your abs cry just a little bit. And then we have a sequence after this short warm-up part that will just focus on your core and abs. You'll see how that unfolds once we get there. You will need a light kettlebell or dumbbell for one part of this warm-up today. And we'll talk a little bit more about what's to come as we warm up. So go ahead and get that light kettlebell out. Bring your feet about shoulder width apart. Bring your hands onto your hips. And we're gonna start doing hip circles one direction for 20 seconds and then the other. You wanna make sure you're really thinking of keeping your rib cage stacked over your pelvis as you do this and getting a full range of motion with your hips. So let's go ahead and get started. 3, 2, and 1. So hips will go all the way to the side. We're gonna go back as far as we can, feeling the hamstrings, and then all the way forward without arching the back. So you can take these as slow or as fast as feels good. You're gonna be here about 10 more seconds, so maybe 4 to 5 of these each side. Today, when we get to our lateral lunges and our split squats, we're gonna add a little bit of rotation into the movement. Let's go the other direction now, which will give you a bit more work on your adductors, so a little internal rotation. You might feel those split squats a little more in your glutes today than you do in your quads. And when we get into our section with our ab work, we're gonna work a lot on breath work there. So just make sure that you're really paying attention to staying stacked and getting your nice diaphragmatic breaths. You're gonna be here for 3, 2, and 1. Your next movement is a single leg toe touch. You have the option to do this in a stagger stance if lifting your back leg does not quite work for you. If you're going to lift your back leg, I want you just to bring it behind you like a single leg deadlift. Come down to the floor as far as you can without rounding your back. We're gonna ground through our front foot. Remember, only reach back as far as you can go without rounding your upper back. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. So we'll bend at the knee, come down, and then come all the way back up. We're going to keep the back leg toes pointed flexed, so they're pointing towards you. The foot should really be active there, and you're gonna think of bringing it a little bit behind you, aiming your hand towards your instep of your foot. We're staying on this side for the entire 40-second interval. You're gonna do your next side after this. If you can't quite get to the ground, I want you to think of just going as far as you can while still growing long with your body. This little rotation to the midline is gonna come back at you today when we get to our lateral lunges and to our split squats. You're here for 3, 2, and 1. Let's go ahead, hit your other side. Let's see if I cannot fall on my left side. Always a little touch and go here. So try to relax your toes and just push through the center sole of your foot. Ground down on that left side. You're gonna reach those toes with your right hand and your right leg will go back. 3, 2, and 1. Turn your right toes in as you flex and try to touch that midline portion of your left side. If you need to bring your opposite arm straight in front of you, you can definitely do this. And if you're in the stagger, I still want you to think of slightly rotating your hand so it's moving towards the midline of your body or towards that outside edge of your left foot. We should still be hinging the hips back here. So remember, it's not as much about your chest going towards the floor. It's about your butt getting back in both versions. You have 10 seconds here, and then we're gonna take alternating standing halo. So this is the one that you will need your light weight for. Go ahead, rest in 3, 2, and 1. So for our standing halos, the weight should be nice and light. If you have a dumbbell, you can just hold it on both sides and you're gonna wrap it around one ear and then around the other. It should stay ear and eye level the entire time. So think ear, eye, nape of neck, not above your head. Let's go ahead, pick up your weight. 3, 2, and 1. I like to just flip it in the air as I pick it up. So we'll go around one side, trying to keep the weight close into your face. Elbows can stick out just a little bit, but remember, we want to try to keep everything pulling towards the midline. So that might mean that your elbows pull in a little bit more than they naturally might want to. This could also feel better in your elbows because you won't be loading the weight into that joint. We're really thinking of opening up our chest, looking straight ahead, trying to keep the shoulders stacked over the hips. Really roll the weight around your head. Keep that weight at your chin height. Keep it moving, guys. We're here for another 10 seconds. If you feel like you're rounding from the weight, you might just try it a little bit lighter, or you can practice this movement without a weight and bring your hands a little higher. So just kind of getting some rolling through your shoulders. You're here for 3, 2, and 1. The last little bit here, we're gonna take an isometric split squat hold for 20 seconds each. This part's gonna help us set up for our split squats later. So let's pay attention to our setup. You are going to bring your front foot nice and close to your back back knee, if you start in a half kneeling position, go ahead and bring it right in front actually if you can so they touch. And then you're gonna move it out to the side so your heel is just on the outside edge of that back leg side knee. Bring your foot forward enough that you don't feel like your heel is trying to come off the floor. So if you snake it back like this and you feel like you can't touch the floor, you might not have that ankle mobility yet. So just bring it forward to a spot where you feel like your knee is still going forward and your stance is close. We're going to think shoulders over hips here. Get a squeeze of the glutes so you feel like you're really connected in your lower body. I want you to push your back foot back, push your front foot down. You're gonna bring your hands at your chest here, and we're just going to lift the back knee about 3 inches. I want you to push into the front part of your front foot, so that sole of your foot, as you pull your hips slightly back and push your back foot back, and then just hold in this position. Try to take your back knee and aim it towards your front foot heel. Squeeze your glutes, pull your inner thighs in towards each other. We're gonna be here 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead, come down. Let's go ahead, switch your side. So set yourself up the same exact way. You might have a little different mobility on this side. That's all good. I just don't want your butt sticking back in this. We're gonna try to keep shoulders stacked over hips. Let's go ahead, lift the back knee in 3, 2, and 1. So remember, we don't want our weight fully coming back and relaxing here. We wanna bend that front knee forward. So still think of this as a squat position. Turn the back knee slightly in and feel the inner thighs pull in towards the midline. Notice how that lights up the inner part of your leg here, so that inner thigh. We're gonna be working that muscle later on in our movements. You're here for 3, 2, and 1. Bring yourself all the way down. Shake your legs out just a little bit. And we're going to get ready for our abdominal focus section. So remember all of that setup when we go into our split squats in our working sets later. This is a great time to check the description section of this class to make sure that you have all the equipment you need for the rest of this session. For this short core and abdominal focus session, I'm going to have you start with a heavy suitcase carry. If you're advanced, this better be a big, heavy kettlebell, something that feels hard to walk with. We're gonna start on your left side for 30 seconds. We're gonna take a little 30-second break in between these things, and then we'll move on to your next side. After that, you're gonna go for hollow heel taps, which you will need a light to moderate kettlebell for. Think something that you use for an arm bar. And we'll talk more about how that's set up during the rest break for it. So go ahead and get that big kettlebell out. If you don't have a lot of spot or room, to walk in place wherever you are, you can always substitute this for just a march in place, keeping your toes pointed up. So let's go ahead, start out. We have a 30-second interval here. I want you to carry that bell on your left-hand side or your non-dominant side if you want to switch it up. Just make sure that you switch it the next round with me. Let's go ahead, hinge our hips, pick up your bell. 3, 2, 1. So we're trying to stay nice and tall here, shoulders over the hips. You can take your opposite hand and touch your back and make sure that those back muscles are working on that side. Just stand tall, and if it works a little better for you, just go foot over foot here. If you can keep your balance a little more, if that's harder for you and you still can do it, great. I want you to stay there, but I want you to also think about looking straight ahead and keeping your body in one line. We're not rounding ourselves forward. You're going to set the bell down in 3, 2, 1. Hips hinge back. Just be careful not to set it on your feet. Shake out your bod. We're doing this 2 full rounds. So if this weight felt too light for you, I want you to grab something that makes you actually have to work for this in the second round. We're trying to stabilize our body, work our obliques a bit here, work our core, which wraps all the way around from the front of our body to the back. Let's go ahead, send your hips back. We'll pick up your bell on your opposite side in 3, 2, and 1. So we'll just take a walk here. Other hand is nice and tight. You're squeezing onto the bell, pulling your shoulder blades together in this position, making sure to keep your focus straight ahead. If you're taking the march, it's normal for it to feel pretty difficult once you lift the same side as the bell. So just keep noted there of how you're moving. Try to step and not lean to one side. See if you can pretend like there is something invisible between your shoulder blades that you are trying to hold on to, squeeze together. 3, 2, and 1. Bell come down to the floor. Make sure you keep that one close because we will be using it the next round. Go ahead and grab your arm bar size weight. We're gonna bring it into our left side. and take our right leg up to a 90-degree angle on the floor. So we're gonna be laying on the floor with the bell pushed up, just like we're about to do an arm bar. We're gonna take our opposite leg up to that 90-degree angle, and we're just gonna hold here for a second. So go ahead, join me here. Now I want you to take your left hand, place it on the floor or straight above you, whichever feels better. Once you roll your shoulders up, then we're gonna work on little heel taps on only that left side. If this is too much on your neck, you're gonna bring your head down towards the floor here. We're gonna push our right foot into the floor, push the weight up on the right side and get those little heel taps. If this feels pretty easy for you, I want you to try going those straight legs, so kind of like a straight leg raise. You can also lift your opposite side here and tap the floor with that left. You're here for 3, 2, and 1. Bell comes down. So you have a couple options here, either one leg down, the bell side down, the bell side up, or you can try going either up or down with the bell side leg and straightening the opposite leg as you move. We're working again our core and our obliques in this. Switch your side with your kettlebell, so just move it along to the other side. Come into position to bring the bell up to that arm bar start. We'll go into the fetal and roll in 3, 2, 1. So we'll push it up first, engage with the core, pull the shoulder down, arm comes up. We're gonna bring up here, roll to the top. You can start with me here with those heel taps. Maybe you bring the other leg up and you take those heel taps. Maybe you reach that foot a little further away from you. Maybe it fully goes straight. For an extra advanced version, it does not touch the ground and it does not ever fully relax up here. You're constantly working in that little range of motion where you don't feel a release in your core. Keep rolling through this one for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That was one round of your heel taps. We have one more round of everything left to go. So let's go ahead and get that heavy kettlebell, bring it towards your right side or left side, whichever one you did first last time. For me, that was my left, my non-dominant side. I like to get that side over with, if you know what I mean. Okay, let's go ahead and find our strong hinge position. Pick up your kettlebell in 3, 2, and 1. Clear it first. Make sure you have a really stacked position and you feel tight. Keep your other hand squeezing as you take that walk. It's only 30 seconds. We don't want to have an arch in the back. You don't want to be rolling around in your feet. You want to have some stillness in your shoulders. Keep looking straight ahead. 10 more seconds here as we hold that kettlebell. Try not to pop your rib cage out if you need to. Again, march in place here. This is all good. We're going to be here 3, 2, and 1. Sometimes, depending on my side, I feel that march a little bit more because you're kind of forced to switch stability in a little different way than you would when you're walking. Walking, we typically have a little wider path. In the march, you're kind of switching and having to hold that position a little bit differently than being in motion. So if the walk feels a little easy, maybe try the march. Could be different for you. Let's go ahead, pick your bell up on your opposite side. 3, 2, and 1. Hips go back. We're gonna march or take your walk. Something common that happens in marching is a booty kick. We just wanna lift out. So think of getting that strong kick out. It's kind of like those holds on the floor. We don't want to lose tension in this one. And if you're not actually lifting your leg, you're not getting very much work from your core. You're kind of just, quite frankly, kicking your butt, which isn't doing much of anything for you. Okay, keep squeezing onto the handle here for another 3, 2, and 1. That big bell can go off to the side. You are finished with that one. And let's go ahead, come down to the floor for our last set of those hollow leg raises. Take the upgrade. If you felt like your last set was easy or you were still kind of figuring it out, try not to lose tension the whole time. Concentrate on in through your nose, out through your mouth as you breathe through these final sets here. Okay, let's go ahead, lay down, roll onto your back in 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna push our bell up. We're gonna keep that side pushing down, bring the other leg up, roll the shoulders up. Again, maybe you start here, never losing tension, thinking of this coming from your core. Then maybe you're here, never fully losing tension, reaching out a little further. Then maybe you're straight leg, never losing tension, reaching out as far as you can without feeling an arch in your low back. Whew, hard for me to talk with that one and stay hollow. You should feel that way too. You've got 3, 2, and 1. Last 30-second break. We're gonna take your final set of heel taps on your opposite side, and then we get into this kind of like inadvertent leg day. I mean, it's not inadvertent, but we're gonna get a lot of inner thigh work, a lot of leg work in the next set, and then that little bit of abs. So much fun. Okay, let's go ahead, lay down on your back, come into your fetal position first, roll with your kettlebell. You're gonna push it straight up in the air. You're gonna bring your opposite leg up, roll up here, bring your leg up if you're keeping it up, and then we'll tap with your opposite side of the kettlebell. Remember, sometimes pushing with that down leg is going to help you feel your core a little bit more. So if you're someone that doesn't feel it, you could be there. You also could be here practicing breathing and pushing your feet down into the ground, pushing your upper back down into the ground. If you feel your abs there and not the other way, that's the place you want to go to. We've got 3, 2, and 1. Core set is done. We're going to go into our working sets, which all you have to remember is 8 reps of each thing. I'm going to, of course, do them here with you. We're going to breeze through these things with a little bit of rest. If the 8 rep range is too little for you, I would suggest going up a little bit in weight. You could also take this up to a 10 rep range if you absolutely need to. If you're struggling to get 8, your weights are probably a little bit too heavy. We're gonna need a big bell for our split squats. And then when you lateral lunge today, it's gonna be on your opposite side of your steps. You just wanna make sure you have something that you feel confident holding while in motion here. So go ahead and bring your weights out. We'll get started for our working sets next. Quick demo of our lateral lunges and split squats. The jackknives we're gonna do when we get there together because they're not that complicated. So for your lateral lunges, we're gonna be stepping out to the opposite side that you have the bell. So if I hold my bell on my left side, I'm gonna make sure my toes are in one long line. I'm gonna step that direction and get a slight rotation, aiming the bell towards my instep of my front foot and then coming back. I wanna try to keep my chest nice and upright here, and I'm gonna think of pushing through this foot, anchoring the opposite foot, and using my hips and my inner thighs to help bring me back to a full standing position. We're gonna try 8 reps each side, so I want you to grab a weight that feels pretty good for that. We have 4 rounds of this together. After that, we're gonna come into our split squat, and we're gonna keep the weight on that opposite side. So we'll start down at the bottom. If you're more advanced for this one, you can lift your back leg. I don't have that prescribed today, but that's coming later in the program, so if you really wanna go with your back leg up, go for it. We're gonna stand and try to put most of our weight in that front side, and then we're gonna turn the weight towards our instep here, leading with the knee to the floor. Now in this, you might bring your chest forward just a little bit to feel that in your inner thigh, or you might be a little more upright. I want you to play with both positions. We just don't want our butt getting behind us with our rib cage flaring. So we're gonna stack our ribs over our hips and try to keep them there no matter if we're here or we're more here going up and down. So go ahead and get your weight out. It might be the same today for both things. One might feel a little bit heavier. I would say the split squat, since you're not in motion laterally, might feel a little stronger than your lateral lunge. So go a little heavier on the split squat if you can. Okay guys, we're gonna start out our set today. Let's go ahead and hit 8 reps to the right, 8 reps to the left. This should take us maybe about 60 seconds. I kind of have us on a 60-second clock here. Let's go 3, 2, and 1. So what do I do with my opposite hand? I'm kind of letting it lead behind me. That's helping keep my hip behind me. My knee is tracking towards my toes. So if you are more of a external rotator in your squat, you turn your toes out a little, you can do that in your lateral lunge here because it's kind of just like having a little half squat, right? We should be finishing up our set here in the next few reps. This is just about 30 seconds in, and then we're gonna switch our side to your opposite side. So all you have to do for that is just kind of turn your body. I'll give you guys a different angle here. So we're going for those strong 8 reps. This is the same idea of any weighted movement that we're moving the weight towards the floor. So just like in our hinges, the goal is not to reach the weight down, it's to support the weight and do the work through the opposite side of our body. Of course, if the weight is too much for you, you can go body weight here. You could also hold on to some TRX straps or even push your hands into a table to start getting better at this motion. When you finish your 8 reps, which should be coming up, take a little break here. We'll take close to 30 seconds and then we're gonna try those split squats. So not a ton of rest in between our sets today here. If you need more, you can always pause the video or take those extra rest breaks. So I'm gonna go with my right leg forward. I'm gonna come into position for that split squat, just like I did in the beginning part of the warm-up. Go ahead and join me here. We're gonna bring your weight into your opposite side of your front leg. Let's go ahead, stand it up in 3, 2, and 1. So we'll move down, 1. Try to tap your knee towards the floor. We're again gonna try to rotate the bell a little bit in. Maybe pull our back knee slightly in. I have 4 more reps here. When you finish, I want you to come all the way to the bottom and then just switch your leg. We're gonna go right into your opposite side. I'll give you guys just about 10 seconds to find that positioning and join me here. We'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So all the way up, I'm gonna get that slight rotation. I'm checking in with my front knee to make sure that my front knee is tracking towards my toes. All the way back down to the floor. Sometimes I get asked, is it normal to feel this in your back leg? Yes, it can be. You can get a nice stretch in that hip flexor, but the majority of the work should be done in that front side. Let's go ahead and move your bell off to the side. We're gonna take jackknives next. And this one, if the jackknife is not for you, you're gonna do a baby Turkish getup instead and work on your roll into side plank. Jackknife is kind of like a baby getup, but we don't change our position and lose the tension. So we're gonna pull our knees in towards our chest, reach them out. I just did about 5 right there. We're gonna do 8 together each side, and then we're gonna come back up and hit 3 more sets of this same exact thing, 3 more sets of everything. So let's go ahead and start out in your side plank position. We're gonna roll. You could even, honestly, guys, let's do this together. Roll into your baby getup, and then you're already at the top. Then you're gonna reach yourself back, reach yourself up. So here's your jackknife. So pull the knees to your chest. You should be holding that side position. Very good. Once you hit your 8, let's go ahead and go to the other side. If you feel this excruciatingly in your hip flexors and nowhere else, it might be just a little bit too much, so go to your baby getup. I'm gonna give you level 2 here with more straight legs. So go ahead, join me in 3, 2, and 1. So the straight leg version, you're gonna lift your legs, go all the way back, come up, go all the way back. So a little less knee bend in the chest, right? We're gonna lift our bod here. Notice I'm not crunching into my shoulder. We still have to maintain that strong side plank. So you see how we build on movements here. If this doesn't work for you, baby get up, but also the base of it is a side plank. You could hold the side plank for the entire interval that we're here doing the jackknives and then pop back into it. Okay. Lateral lunge is coming next. The jackknives are a little bit of your active recovery, my friend. So if you can go a little heavier for your lateral lunges, I want you to grab that next sized weight today. We're gonna go up in weight a little bit. So for this, again, 8 reps is your baseline. I want it to feel like an RPE 8. I don't want you busting out more than 10. So choose your weight appropriately. Let's pick your weight up. 3, 2, and 1. We'll hit 1 rep. This can be done with a dumbbell. 2, 2. Stand up tall in between. 3, push through the floor. 4, make sure your toes are in one line. 5, push, push, push. 6, push, shoulders back. 7, last one, booty goes back. 8, weight can come down. Take a little break. You can switch your side, switch your angle, find what feels good for you there. And we're gonna go ahead and hit the other side in just about 10 seconds. Roll the shoulders back a little, shake the butt out just a little bit. Gonna try to really push through the floor when we come back. Here we go, 3, 2, and 1. It starts on the outside, moves to the inside. I'm shifting my hip back in space as I step. This is 3, 4, stay with me here, 5, 6, push. We've got 7, and last rep for that 8 count. I push, I set my kettlebell down. Very good, my friends. Move your bell over to the side. Okay, so split squats are coming up next. You can, again, keep that heavier weight, or you can stay with the weight that you had before. If you're breathing a little heavy, it's good. That means you're working. Your heart rate's gonna get up when you lift. So just keep that in mind. Okay, let's go ahead, come into position. If you are taking split squats with your back foot raised, get after it. You have those coming up later in this program, so just keep yourself in check for those split squats. Okay, you guys ready? Here we go. Let's go for our set of 8. We'll go 3, 2, and 1. Straight up, and then I'll slightly rotate. Feel my hip going back. 2, push through the front foot. 3, push through the front foot. Toes and knees are in one line. Let's go 2 more. Push through that front foot, nice and stable, and then we stop. I'm gonna show you guys a little trick on the next side. If you feel like your hip is escaping you, you're gonna come next to a wall. And if your hip's shooting to the side here and you don't notice it, you're gonna feel it when you hit the wall on your way up. Okay, let's come into position. Go ahead, set yourself up here. Get nice and narrow in that stance. Weight should be in your front foot before you even start. Let's go 3, 2, and 1. So here I am. I'm gonna try not to hit my painting here. And when I come down, I'm slightly rotating my body. Hip is staying in line. 4 more. 1, 2. Lead with your back knees straight to the floor. 3. Final one here for 4. We can go all the way down, set the bell down safely, and dismount. We have our jackknife coming up next. All of our strength sets in this program flow a little quickly. So if you're someone that's doing a advanced upgrade, if you're someone that is doing a barbell set, just make sure you're taking a little extra rest through these sets. Push pause, maybe take 60 seconds. Your session's gonna be a little longer, but your lifting might be a little more intense. Okay, let's go ahead and hit those jackknives. We're gonna hit round 2 here. Straight leg version, bent leg version, baby get up, or you could literally go back to that side plank. I'm gonna bring my top hand over and push into the floor on this set. This is sometimes a nice supportive place to do this. So take your 8 reps. Should feel like I'm lifting from my lower abs. The lower you go down with your legs doesn't mean it's necessarily harder if you lose tension at the bottom. I want you to try to keep tension the whole time, especially if you're advanced here. So switch your side with me. Let's go ahead and hit your next set in 3, 2, and 1. Legs can be slightly in front of you. Remember, you're here if you need to be. Sometimes I even squeeze my heels together and almost open the legs a little bit to not feel my hip flexors as much. Push them together, it helps to kind of release the hips. Okay, just with that, we are halfway through that set. Let's go ahead and bring our weight back out, and we're gonna go into your lateral lunges. So another thing that could work for you is to rack your bell in your lateral lunge to make it a little more challenging. It might not necessarily be a little more challenging for you, but some people, depending on where they're holding the weight, like if you're holding it here and then you're fighting against it to come up, it might feel more challenging for you in your inner thigh. You won't get that rotation, but something to try if you're not really feeling the version that we're doing right now. Let's go ahead, pick up your weight. Let's get started for your lateral lunge, round 3. We'll go 3, 2, and 1. Hip goes back. This is 2. I have my eyes slightly in front of me and down. 3, 4. I'm really moving that hip back before I step. 5, move that hip back before you step. 6, 2 more. 7, push. And 8, your opposite foot is just there as your anchor position. Shake your hands out a little bit. You can grab a quick sip of water if you need it, or save that to the end because our session isn't super long today, guys. You're here with me in these 20 to 30 minute sets for this program. Let's go ahead and hit your opposite side in 3, 2, and 1. I always say 20-minute, but then I program them and they always lean a little more towards 30, but I don't think you guys will mind. Good, let's go 4 more. 1, stand up all the way. 2, booty goes back into the side. 3, last one here, and 4. My knee is tracking towards those toes, not bouncing in. Go ahead, set that weight down. Come into your split squat position. We're gonna go with the opposite leg that was stationary on that last side. So we're working our quad mostly here, maybe a little glute for those of you that are getting a slight hinge when we go into that rotation point. Okay, let's go ahead and pick up our kettlebell in 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna stand all the way up. Let's take that slight turn to the side. 1, gently tap the knee. 2, gently tap the knee. 3, if you can't quite get your knee all the way down, I want you to put a yoga block under you or roll up a towel. Bring the floor up to you just a little bit. Let's try 4 more reps. Well, actually, this will be 3. Good. 2, notice that hips going back here. 1, and we're gonna come all the way back down to the floor. Shake it out, rest a little bit. It's okay if you feel that stretch in your back leg. When I say put something under you, I mean that thing would be under your knee at this point. You would just bring the floor up to you to reduce your range of motion just a little bit so you don't have to go down quite as far. Let's go ahead and hit your second side, guys. Here we go, 8 reps. 3, 2, and 1. Fully up, little rotation I hold. Sometimes I like to put my hand on my tailbone in the back just to keep me in that position, going up and down. Very good, guys. Okay, we're gonna take that break and hit our jackknives. For our second round, shake it out, or sorry, finishing our third round. We only have 1 more to go after this. Good news is, once we get to this point, it's like the last time that you're doing any of this stuff is always such a huge win, right? Okay, so when we get into this position, I want you to take the one you feel strongest at, not the one that your ego wants you to do. So I'm gonna actually take a few, I'll keep doing jackknives with you guys to keep the pace, but if you're doing baby get-ups, maybe it's 3 reps, maybe it's 4 reps, maybe that side plank is where you need to be today. Okay, so let's go ahead, come onto our side here, whichever one you want to start with. I forgot the one that I started with last time. So the feet can come slightly in front of you, and let's go ahead, lift. 3, 2, and 1. These ones are gonna come back at you. Again, on this program, you guys are sensing a theme here. So this introduction, if you absolutely hate these, I'm sorry, but you're gonna keep getting time to practice them. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, and 1. This is another one where you get a little roll on your booty, like you have a foam roller built in on this one. So if you feel that kind of uncomfortable on your side, 1, it's only 8 reps, you can do it, and 2, you're just getting a nice little glute medius rollout in this set. Okay, last round, we've made it through this set, guys. Lateral lunges, split squats with that little bit of rotation. Both of them have that little rotation to keep our hip in place. And then we'll finish with our final set of those jackknives. After this, your 5th class in this program, if you're following it, will be finished. You guys are crushing it here. Okay, we're gonna move that weight over to your side. Let's go ahead, roll the shoulders back, and we'll get ready to move through our lateral lunges. Last set here, dumbbell, kettlebell friendly. Let's pick your bell up. 3, 2, and 1. We'll hit our first rep. 1, little rotation. 2, notice my upper body twists, but my hip doesn't. 3, I'm pushing through my foot. 4, it's kind of the outside of my foot. 5, good. 6, push. We'll go 2 more. Breathe in, breathe out in that push. Last one. Okay, bell comes down. Sometimes, again, if this variation doesn't feel like it's doing much for you, sometimes holding your kettlebell at your chest can be a little bit different. I'm gonna try to offer you different versions of lateral movements in this program. And if you find one that really works for you, I want you to stick with that one. Just because I program lateral lunges like this, if you feel like curtsy lunges are a better fit for you when you're doing them, pick that version. You can always switch it as long as you feel confident in what you're up to. Okay, let's get your other side. We're gonna step in 3, 2, and 1. We'll hit rep 1. Step it out. 2, step it out. Slight gaze forward. 3, and push. 4, almost there. Halfway. 5, we've got 6, 7, and 8. I programmed this training plan to, it's called Strength Era. You could do New Strength Era. Sometimes I had that one in my head. And the point of it is, this one is kind of like another reset. It is a total body program. You're gonna get a lot out of it and not a lot of time. So if you're someone that is struggling to find something that works for you, this can be done in a 4-week period. It's only 4 weeks. You have, well, you can kind of make it 6 weeks if you do 4 of these classes a week. So really, I guess it could be a 6-week program, but if you do 6 a week, could be a 4-week program for you and could really push you to really build a habit, especially those times of year like the holidays or the summer when that's harder to do. Let's go ahead and hit your split squats last round. Clock is on here. 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna we're gonna move up and down for 8 with that little rotation. So my chest is slightly turned towards my front leg. My back knee is slightly turned towards my front heel. We're gonna hit 4 more. 1, push. 2, push. 3, push. 4, all the way up, all the way down. If you're someone that is elevating your back foot, gonna give you a little time to get into position there, but you wanna feel like you kind of know it, like you're set up. You've taken the time to get yourself into that position and you really feel like you don't have to move your equipment around much. That's one of the important things if you're using a lot of stuff, especially in a split squat. You wanna be able to get into it well and not be struggling through it. Let's go ahead and get into your next set. Clock is on here in 3, 2, and 1, or I should say reps are on. I keep saying clock even though we're doing reps today. So we'll call it 2, 3, push. Woo, 4, push to the center part, that's what'll happen to you. 5, 6, little rotation. 7, inner thigh feeling it. 8, all the way up and down. Okay, getting a little sweaty in the studio today. I know you guys are right there with me. I feel like can claim victory soon in this final set of jackknives. Whew, oh my goodness. Okay, let's go ahead and take it. We have 8 reps to do. Let's get these things over with. Find your preferred setup here. Let's go. 3, 2, and 1. Keep looking slightly up. Got 2 more. Trying our best to maintain that rib cage over pelvis position here and not flare our ribs out. Remember, you can go here if you're feeling your hip flexors a little too much. I'll do that there. It looks kind of like a frog. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, and 1. So I go up, out, push into my heels. Last one. Whoo, guys. Oh, all the things have happened to our inner thighs, our obliques. This could be a sneaky sore class for you. Whew, oh my goodness. I hope you enjoyed that as much as possible. And I promise you, we will be progressing some of these movements as this program continues to build. So if you liked today, and you felt like today, you're like, okay, manageable, maybe borderline easy, this is your foundation, my friends. I will see you in your next strength class here on Bells Up Studio. Remember, get real, get strong, bells up. Bye.